I founded a company called Pivotal Ventures in 2015, and really the point is, again, as I traveled the world, I had to ask myself, is there anywhere in the world that we have true equality for women? And the answer is no. We just don't, not even in the United States. And so there are some gaps in particular in the United States that I wanted to help fill, separate from the foundation. And so I formed Pivotal Ventures. And one of the places I focus that company on is women in tech. Women are so underrepresented in the technology sector in the United States, and yet tech is pervasive. It is changing our lives. And so women have to be able to have their great ideas come forward, not just have a seat at the table, but have their great ideas come forward to help change society.
Why do you think it is that only about 2% of VC funding goes to companies that are headed by women?
I think that industry became a boys' network very early. Less than 8% of partners at VC funds are women at the partner level. And I don't know about you, but I think that's more a symptom of the funders, not the founders. And so the fact that less than 2% of funding goes to women's companies, that's crazy. Or less than 1% goes to a woman of color. And so we have to change that. And so I'm investing in people like Aspect Ventures or Defy Capital or Female Founders Fund, where their funds absolutely expect a return. I expect a good return, but they over-index for women's businesses.
You know, there's been so much talk about this in California. There's a proposed rule that would force companies to have a certain number of board members that are women. We talked about this with Sally Krawcheck recently, and she's not a fan of government legislation doing these things, but she said that someday I might be, because nothing else seems to be working. What's your thought on this? Do you have a larger thought, or is this just, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is?
I'm putting my money where my mouth is right now, but I'm watching that, and I'm collecting data from around the world, and I'm looking at it, because there are places that sometimes quotas make sense for a time to get things going. For instance, one of the countries that has the most number of women parliamentarians is Rwanda. It's because President Kagame came in and said, we will have at least 40% of women parliamentarians. They're way over that now. And so some of the places in Europe are looking at quotas for a time. And I don't know if that's right for the United States, but I know we need to do something to accelerate women in business.
So what have you found at Pivotal so far? What have your investments done? What has your research done you there?
So one of my pieces of research also shows me that we need to create new pathways for women into technology. That first opening computer science class at college is too late. We need to work there. There are great universities changing that class to make it accessible to women, changing things in high school so that women want to go into tech. They see role models. They know they can do it. So I see that. I also see that we have a workforce today, a workplace, I should say, today, that's not designed for families. And yet, if you interview most men and women around the United States, they have families. So we need to have a good paid family medical leave policy. So if you have an elderly parent that needs care, you have a young child, you go out for pregnancy, you can come back to your career. We're one of only 8 countries in the world that doesn't have a paid family leave policy. That's crazy.